Would he not have liked? Was he a St. Louis guy?
No, that's a complete guess. This is no facts here. These are my opinions.
All right. And the number one story trending this hour today in the USA. The media is full of reports that President-elect Donald Trump may be violating the Constitution the moment he takes office on January 20th. What is at issue? I don't know, but Byron Henry does. He is an attorney and a constitutional scholar. Byron, what are we dealing with here?
Well, first of all, Dickerson is in the news because he was banned from the sidelines of the Rams because he criticized the team. So Jeff Fisher said he didn't want him on the sidelines. So that's the story about Eric Dickerson.
Byron, you're the real MVP. Thank you from the producer.
You're welcome. As far as Donald Trump, we're dealing with what you called an obscure clause in the Constitution called the Emoluments Clause. It's in Article 1, Section 9, and it basically says that a person who holds an office under the United States cannot receive gifts or payments for services or titles of nobility from a foreign government, prince, king, or other nobility of a foreign government. So you've got the recipient and the giver. So you've got a person that holds an office under the United States can't receive gifts from foreign dignitaries or heads of state or other countries. That's the rule.
Okay, and what is he doing? And what is he getting? Is he they're trying to say that because he owns some buildings, they're paying rent?
Well, it does take a little bit of legalese to get Donald Trump to be in violation of the Constitution. First, Congress can consent to these things. So it doesn't say that they have to expressly consent. It doesn't say if Congress just doesn't say anything if it's okay. So first of all, it's not an automatic violation. There is a consent provision by Congress. So that's number one out for Donald Trump if he needs it. The second thing is they're not actually giving Donald Trump any gifts. They're paying for hotel rooms at his hotels. And of course, the Bank of China is a tenant in Trump Tower. So a lot on the left are saying that by paying for a space in his tower, he is getting a payment for services, ability to use the tower and that's a payment to him, even though, of course, it's not. It's a payment to his organization that he owns part of. So that's kind of the stretch. So there are some issues to be raised here about how he's going to deal with his foreign interests in foreign countries with respect to his business holdings. I think those are legitimate concerns. But to say that an obscure clause of the Constitution that's never been construed by the Supreme Court that he's automatically in violation of it is a bridge too far, I think.
And the left continues to do that, don't they? It's just they're not given any kind of a break at all, or is that just politics and we wouldn't have done, well, I know we wouldn't have done it Hillary because she was committing crimes, in my opinion.
No, I think it's a little bit more. And in fact, I think the left is doing two things. They're really benefiting Donald Trump by focusing on these types of obscure stretches to make him impeachable or make him a criminal when they should be focusing on fighting his policies if they're against them. I think they really jumped the shark, so to speak, the last few weeks with their praise of Fidel Castro, this recount business, and now this violating the Constitution. I think there's some lawyers out there calling for the electors. He's not even president yet, so he can't violate the Constitution as president, but calling for the electors to not vote for Trump on the sole grounds that he hasn't divested himself of his business holdings before the election. So
I think that's all of those is telling. And then how about Keith Ellison, the number one guy candidate for running the DNC? They call Stephen Bannon and Breitbart anti-Semitic, even though Breitbart and Stephen Bannon were Jewish. But Keith Ellison really is an anti-Semite. Nation Islam, that's what they stand for.
I think they're really – a lot of people had some problems with Trump. Let's be honest. There was a Never Trump movement. There was a group of conservatives that weren't Never Trump, but they had their concerns about Donald Trump as a president and as a conservative. And what the left has done by praising Castro, basically going apoplectic at every single tweet Donald Trump tweets, and if they make Keith Ellison head of the DNC, it basically drives all those people in the middle that were hesitant to vote for Trump, maybe they did, drives them towards Donald Trump and just demonstrates how far out and how insane the left has become on some of these policy issues. I think Castro and Keith Ellison are a perfect example of how an average American can't imagine how someone could praise Fidel Castro upon his death. That just drives people to Trump and is going to make his job a lot easier.
Yep, I absolutely 100% agree. All right, thank you so much for being here. Give me a website you want folks to find you at.
I'm at www.solidcounsel.com.
All right, thank you so much for being here on Trending Today USA. I do appreciate it. That's Byron Henry, by the way, Byron Henry.